Nyari, konnichiwa, mihao, hello, hello. All of those things. I'm very prepared. Okay, I am not muted. Good. I thought I was for a second. Krola. Oh, I should add that one in there. I'm gonna forget, but knowing my memory anyway. Hello. How do? Well, regardless, probably better than what Gina Lestrade is going through. We make jokes to cope. Oh shoot. No! Why did my hair think that? My bangs are being attacked in that they are not cooperating and they are mutinying. No! Okay, there we go. But... Oh, what did you realize? Actual bangs? Yes, I have actual bangs. My hair bow looked like cat ears. It wasn't intentional. I don't think it ever was, but it kind of works out, to be fair. Well, now I have actual cat ears, so... It is how it is. Oh, my tea is actually still hot. Okay. Can't slurp it. Well... I suppose we should go into the final trial of the final case of the well, it's not the final game, but I have a feeling this is gonna take a while. Given the previous track record, I should probably just go right into it. Also, I won't lie, I'm a little eepy, so it's hard for me to ramble about things right now. So, when I awoke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last. One that I would remember for the rest of my days. Oh, how much longer? Like, can I finish this next time? How much longer are we talking here? 9:32 a.m. Oh, hello. Good morning, Gina. How was, the dungeon? I imagine it was very drafty in there. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. Real life 24 hour. Oh, that sounds terrible. Is there ever... No, it wouldn't. But I also feel like if there was a time where Ace Attorney decided to put a case that was like that long, actually, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them. Did Twitch failure or is the 8 minutes accurate? The 8 minutes should be accurate, although I only started like maybe 2 minutes ago because I usually wait for stats to pass by like a storm. Actually, 24 however long has already passed. Fair enough. Yeah, that's me right now. I am buffering constantly. It's great because my brain is lagging for probably the most intense puzzle segment of this particular game. Wait, there was a raid? Wait, did I miss a... No, I didn't miss one this time. Oh, last time! To be fair, last time I was setting up, so I did kind of respond in the chat. But I was still setting up, so I couldn't switch over. But yeah. So where's your friend then? Sorry? You know, the fancy dress. Sasato, or however you say it. I don't know. Miss Sasato had to leave early this morning? She was already gone by the time I woke up. Yeah, she left at like 4 a.m. or something. Why do I remember that? Of all things, why do I remember specific times from this game? Why am I not allowed to remember, like, actual things I need to remember? You alright with that, are ya? Forget about me if you like. Go and see her off. She's left. It's been 5 hours. She's already gone. It's not as though Mrs. Sato and I won't meet again one day. Even so, but you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Iris, maybe?
Good morning, you two!
Ah! Cat!
How are you feeling, Jenny? Did you manage to sleep?
Are we allowed to bring cats here? Oh, heck yeah!
Oh, hi, Rit. What are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy?
Oh, the little ear flick. Oh, wait! No, come back! No, wait!
Waggy!
Great way to show your support, Kitty. Kitty has vacated the premises. I'm sure the cat will be back with crucial evidence later on in this case. I don't know. If it's anything like the parrot, let him have a nose around what I'm gonna do.
Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Bruno? Ginny?
Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad.
Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities.
Hey, what do y'all think? Good news first or bad news first? I don't know. I feel like in the past I would have said bad news first, but now I just kind of think whichever one you feel is the bigger news, that one goes first, because like, or actually, whichever one is the bigger one is the second one, because like whatever the more important news is going to like overshadow the other thing. If they're equivalent though, I would say good news first now. I don't know what this says about me and how I've changed. But I don't know. I think I could deal with the bad later. Anyway, let's not go there. No, I wanted to hear her insight.
Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move.
Oh no, is it heavy rain? Hello! What about the ugly news? True. You gotta get that ugly truth. Huh? The bad news was a weather report? I don't know, is that gonna keep people— well, no, we already have everyone here that we need. I don't know what that could impact. Oh.
So, I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port.
Gosh, yes. I didn't even consider that. Alright then, so what's the good news?
There is no good news! Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon. So, even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it?
I couldn't give a monkey's, really. If only all good news cancelled out the bad.
And look! This trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder. See?
How do you like that? Well, let them say what they want. See if I care. I can't because you are covering your face.
Don't worry! Runa will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense.
Yes, you will!
And then, in tomorrow's papers, the headline will be Discharged diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno?
Yes, let's hope so. Have some confidence, man.
Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it?
It's like she was still here. Aww, that's really cute. The 10-year-old should not be the one emotionally bolstering us, but I do appreciate it. Wait, how is the paper gonna have to do— we're gonna need that as evidence later.
Good luck then, Bruno. I'll do what I can. Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I can shoot them if they annoy us. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement. With this gun!
Not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but, thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Please stop pointing that at my face. Oh, yeah, Iris.
Yes, Ginny?
Oh, well, I was wondering, is all, about Sholmes. Did they fix him up all right?
Yes. The operation was a great success.
You don't look so chipper.
But Hurley still hasn't come around yet.
That's a lie! He was awake! Susato talked to him! Unless that was all a lie? Is he fake? Why is he faking it? Why is he faking this? What's up with this?
asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up.
Sure, Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Sasato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. Sholmes has never shown up to one of our court cases, though. I feel like he's going to. He is awake. I don't know what he's doing. Have I just started? Basically. We're just pre-trial right now, just kind of talking, catching up. We talked about the weather. There was a lot of rain, which apparently is going to come into play later, given the fact that we got that as evidence. Well, actually, is there something else in here? Okay, well, we'll see. It's all down to me today. Well, and Iris, to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense, the trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom.
It's time then.
Yes. Let's go, Gina. Iris.
Lead the way, Bruno.
What about the cat? Are we just gonna let him wander around, or like... Okay. He's gone then. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. Also, she doesn't have her coat anymore. That's sad. Then again, I guess it was covered in blood, so, that's totally fair. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. Cosmo! If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. Not the emotional jump scare. Okay. And Eggs Benedict ripped the beautiful coat. Exactly. I mean, it did have blood on it, so I guess it would have had to get cleaned anyways. But like, come on, it was a really good coat. Oh. It what now? Don't worry about it. It's evidence now, right? Wait, is it evidence? I thought it was. Oh, is it not in here? Why is it not in here? I thought... I'm so surprised that it's not evidence. What? Okay. Well, for context, I guess, since it's not in the court record, the coat that Gina was wearing, evidently, it is not evidence. The coat that Gina was wearing had blood on it. It was purple, which is the guy from the previous case, the one from the omnibus incident. And it was like basically all over the front of the coat. But it wasn't on her, so, you know. But, I mean, that makes sense given that it was from back then. Anyway, it's proof that the guy that was innocent was in fact not innocent, but I guess it doesn't matter because he's dead. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Van Zeeks? My lord. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? Wait. Oh, okay. I thought he was talking about, like, the last time he was here, which was, like, a couple months ago. It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. It would seem you are following our, friendly, defense from across the seas. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? I don't know, I assume he's just following us at this point. In what one might describe as your former life, 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess, I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. spill the tea. There are two types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large.
He means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago.
Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Hey, don't be so sarcastic to her. Or maybe he's genuine, I don't know. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, there's wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those Okay! Excuse me?! In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. Did he really just say that? I agree! Wow, the racism has cranked up a lot! I think he wins in the leaderboards of racism.
Hey, Julia.
Hey, thank you for the 2 months, Empress.
Hey, Julia.
Oh my god, I have 2 text-to-speeches on. Oh no. I've made an error. It's a stopgap. Well, I'll just deal with this as they come along. Yeah. The thing is, it's good that that got tested. Well, I mean, yeah, I forgot. I'll fix it by next time. I want to believe he's the Edgeworth to his Phoenix, right? I really want to, but this guy is such a jerk. I don't know. This is competitive racism, and boy is he winning. By a landslide. And we had the Swan Lady from Case 1.
He means you now, Bruno.
I, actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zeek's eyes. Was that directed solely at me, or was he talking about all Japanese people? An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zeeks. Oh good, even Santa's uncomfortable. Good news I know about and can fix it, bad news I broke it. Well, it's not broken, it is working as intended, I just kind of forgot about, some of the things. Whoops! It's fine, everything is scuffed anyway. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors. Yeah, in my opinion, your view's rapidly dropping off a steep cliff. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Well, some of them are pretty familiar. Although, I think they've gotten... I'm sorry, is that the... Wait, is the 6th one the freaking assassin that was mentioned in Case 2? If it's random, how did the first guy get selected? Actually, no. Okay, so first one, second one... No. Is the third one also the person from last time? Like, we have the guy who's hard of hearing, who's now a doctor, I guess. We've got the person who's taking notes that one time, who I guess is working in the military or on radio or something? And we have an assassin? Do they not run background checks? I would have thought you'd have to be like a British citizen to do this. I like his mouse, it's very cute. But like, I don't know, this guy looks like the guy who was wanted for like the murder of several people. He was in the papers. I don't know. Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant? Now I think the Russians did it, and that's only because he was in the papers a bit ago. former lieutenant in the British Army here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready.
Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think.
Oh. Never mind, You aren't the same person. No, you're someone else. Okay. It's just the last person who was here who was like really reasonable. Different facial structure.
Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything. And I'm ready for it.
This guy's... I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have? Women indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. Ah, Morse code. Mouse code. How did this guy meant to... Good day. I am visiting I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. I'll try. It's a terrible accent. Please, take everything with a grain of salt.
Is something wrong, Runo?
Yeah, the mouse is really cute. It's perfectly circular. Wait! We brought a cat! There's a cat in here somewhere! Oh, that mouse's days are numbered. Not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact.
Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know.
That guy just said he was sightseeing. He's not even an inhabitant. How did he get called in? So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped. Very well. Now, Lord Van Seeks. The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windibank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. Yeah, which is... that's not where the heart is. I'm not a doctor. Like, the heart is, like, not... It's a little bit closer to the center. It's not that far offset, is it? I mean, I guess it could just hit it. Yeah, it's like... It is to the left, and I get it, but I thought it was closer to the center. Yeah. Maybe it clipped his heart. I don't know. He has a big heart, and that was his, that was his death knell. Maybe an angle? I don't know. Looks pretty straight on to me. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal... Oh, okay. No, that's right. One of you pointed it out. Oh, congrats! On a rising diagonal trajectory. That makes a lot more sense. That looks so weird otherwise. And, what's that supposed to tell us? That he wasn't shot in the shoulder! It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. How tall was he? I don't know.
Oh.
The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Heart is much lower than that? Yeah. The diagonal isn't diagonaling. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Alright. I think I'm just gonna have to take this thing's word for it, even though, like, there have been occasions where it's just like, it gives me faulty evidence and kind of expects you to common sense and know that that's not right. We'll see. When there are bullets involved, they squeeze into the soft tissues. That's why you find bullets in a weird position and location, because they've traveled farther than... Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, so it just pinballed off of his ribs. That's a real weird way to put that, but I see. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. New record. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Winterbank, and the accused. She never did tell us what happened, huh? Does that guy even know what's happening? He has a translation book. I don't know if he actually understands what's happening. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. Yeah, but you don't have ballistics markings right now, so I don't believe you. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Is that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway?
She's one of those filthy drabs that lives in the slums in the East End.
Oh, well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands then. What are the jurors waiting for? The girl's guilty as hell. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. Oh. My learned Nipponese friend. Ooh, there's a hesitation before that friend now. It is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Good gracious! Wait, how? It was a locked room! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. A pitiful pick-purse or cold-hearted killer. The cameras? I don't know if they know about the cameras. That's probably something that we can use. I don't think that they know about it. Here's to establishing the truth. Yeah, the vampire Edgeworth is out here, drinking his wine blood. Blood wine. The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zix. Oh wait, did Gregson say that they caught them? Shoot. Well, yeah, if they caught them. At once, my lord. Well, in that case, convict them for shooting Sholmes. Just saying. This isn't good.
I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Runo.
I think that's because it has. Where does this cape go? Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Winterbank on the 16th of April of this year. Where is Eggs Benedict? I know he's one of... No, he isn't! Who in the heck are those two? Huh. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Why do you have a pair? Why do you have an app? Why do you look like you... The skull and crossbones, the coloration and the fruit really makes me think that they're somehow about to poison us. Professional baddie. Professional baddie? I didn't even read it! Who are you, Max Fosh?
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is, baddie. Professional baddie. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's, the same as him.
Dingle, like apple?
Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right, we're what they call...
Sorry? The inspector? You got something to tell us?
The three Skulkin brothers. What are you looking at me like that for? Don't let me in with you lot. Oh, blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through? It's our older bruv. Lost contact with him, we have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital.
So they're also Japanese. Nah, that's a stretch.
And then last night we come across you, the very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo? Oh yeah, he is, Nash, he is, the very spit of him. So we decided there, and then what we was gonna do, we was gonna call ya.
Did they pass out now?
Big bruv sulky.
What?
Come on, leave it out, you two.
Sulky Skulkin. And that's before he's run out of chips.
Well? Confusion?
Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson.
Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias.
What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand.
The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft.
And also of shooting Sholmes, question mark? Thieves, are they, these three?
No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with these lot. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime.
By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence!
Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder.
I'm glad they have a box for people, just in case they need it.
Order! Order!
The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future.
With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow.
This is not the first person to use a box in the witness stand, but I do like that they have a box on standby in case the witness does need it.
Of course, Inspector. As skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question, and what exactly you saw.
Happy do! 'Cause a Skulkin's never skulkin'.
They've really just adopted this guy, huh?
Get out of it!
I mean, I guess they do have similar hair. So, like, I don't know. Is there something that Inspector Siegel isn't telling us? Legal entry.
We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours and the gap's door was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was. But once we got inside, God blimey, Lummy, we had a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet.
Yeah, and what are we? Frickin'... Okay. What's Sholmes, chopped liver?
A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot.
The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside. And within, only the victim and the accused were found.
I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please.
I'm glad that the judge got less, racist over time. Good for him.
Counsel?
Yes.
What's the matter, Runa?
Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by that pair in the stand. And Apple. Get it? Pear and Apple? I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. They're quite brazen. Nothing seems to be shooting Shirley and running. Yeah, nice and quiet is shooting a loud gun and running. I'm going to the last one immediately because, we've got to address this one, right? Okay. Where's the one where you said that you left? Yeah. Can I just... Hopefully this trial will bear some fruit on the truth. Yeah. You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story? What's the story, Morning Glory? 'Cause you're lying.
Well, it was bedlam soon as, weren't it?
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have the time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
I have no idea what they just said. So, with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left. Nice and quietly, you say.
That's right, Governor. Nothing we ain't more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers.
We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So, you'd clearly like us to believe.
Come again?
As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person?
Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say? Hada hada!
Crack!
Blimey, Governor!
You ain't telling us
It was you in the doorway. Aha! They admit it!
It was.
Why the bleeding Nora?
Didn't you mention that before?
You were armed with a gun. And as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes.
They shot the great Mr. Sholmes. I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to the hospital.
The great Sholmes, that's beyond the pale. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. The suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. Then why didn't you mention that they also did a shooting? Just saying, all you were saying is that they were gonna get arrested for thievery, and then you didn't even mention the fact that they shot Sholmes? Really? Is it because you didn't want them to discredit you? I don't know. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. God, I wish we had ballistics markings. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers.
Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel.
That one guy at the end is just there.
The court will hold this weapon as evidence.
Alright. I think I'm gonna take a look at it. Well, after he pours his juice. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Oh, whoa. Okay, let's take a look at this. Anything about this in particular? Can I, take a look at how many shots are in there or something? So, there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of this revolver's 6 cylinders.
Yes, which tells us that only a single shot has been fired from it.
Exactly.
The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it?
Yes, it happened almost as soon as we'd walked in through Winterbank's door. It does mean that these weren't the ones who shot... Dang it, if they only shot one bullet and we know it's the one that shot her... I really was about to say Hurley. But if it was the one that shot Hurley, then there's no way they could have shot Winterbank. Dang it. Bullets were like round metal balls, they'd have look the same. Ballistics markings, the way that you look at them is that like the scratches and kind of like how the bullet looks after it was shot are going to... It's kind of like fingerprinting in a way with guns. They're going to have more unique looking like scratches on it because of the muzzles of the gun. Yeah, they wouldn't have that yet, which is unfortunate. It's why I keep complaining about it, in the sense of like, oh, I wish that they had this, rather than, why aren't they doing that? Yeah, it's too bad.
I'll make these brothers pay.
Shoot some— oh no, I didn't mean to press it again! Hold on! Okay. I don't think that there's anything else I can take a look at with this, though. Flintlock and a revolver. I don't know much about guns, so... You will know more than I. This is Mr. Winterbank's gun. The cylinder is completely empty.
Mr. Winterbank always used to keep this gun to hand on his shop counter.
Yes, but only ever with a single bullet loaded, I understand.
That's right, to keep all the pawned articles that were in his care safe.
But his one bullet was fired that night, and the poor man lost his life. Was he protecting his shop, I wonder? Trying to keep the articles safe? I don't think I can really investigate anything else for anything. Yes? Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. Are you being cheeky? Are you saying that we need evidence? If they're witnesses and we were also witness, which the inspector knows because he saw us there, and also Sholmes was literally rushed to the hospital. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on the gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder, but the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime, under scrutiny in this trial. Sholmes is in the freaking hospital!
Objection!
Really? Really? Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there! I was a witness!
Objection!
However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim... Hearsay, we had several witnesses and also the inspector was on the scene quickly, who also thanked us for calling the police quickly. Like, they were there really fast. They were there before the two were caught. We told them about the two who ran away. If we didn't tell them about it, they wouldn't have known. Like, our testimony is the reason these two were caught in the first place. I don't understand how, if that part of our testimony was true, the rest of it, oh, I guess it isn't because we don't have evidence. This guy's just being a jerk. We shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on. Also, they admitted to it. They literally were like, oh, you were there! Sure. Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Winterbanks that night. Frick.
The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof.
Yeah, and where's your proof that they... Okay.
What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker's shop that night?
Yeah, he does look like a vampire. Well, shoot. Do we have, like, the calendar? Because the calendar has a bullet in it. Like, can I use this? Am I allowed to use that? Like, if I present this, it's not gonna just be like, oh, well, it's only blood samples. What do the blood samples have to do with it? But it is the only thing that really works, so... I'm gonna try this one. If not, it'll literally be, oh, the gun literally fired something, but you've already established that.
Take that!
No? Yes? The evidence is in this portfolio.
What on earth do you have you there, counsel?
During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do. Yeah, at this rate, I think that's kind of necessary. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio.
Thank you for the follow.
And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein?
Yes, my lord.
No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene?
Literally the bullet. This one. There's a bullet.
What is that? Explain.
Nickelodeon goop, and also a bullet in the calendar. It's a photographic print taken at Windibank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident.
From the scene of the crime, isn't?
Also, the fact that they missed it is really dumb. Actually, I don't even want to say they missed it because one guy did notice it, but he didn't want to address it until the shift was over because he didn't want to be held there for very long. So I'm just going to assume that he just never told anyone. And they missed very obvious evidence in the corner. But whatever. Yeah, we can trust them.
Is that?
They might not have missed it. I don't know. At this point, they seem to be doing that thing where they choose to deliberately look over evidence, like to miss evidence, just so that they can go home from work sooner. And man, it's a trend.
A bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there.
Yes, as your lordship noticed. The bullet pierced Mr. Windibank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death.
The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th.
That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night.
Order. How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zeeks?
What are you gonna do? What you gonna say? You just gonna pour the wine onto your chin? Not even drink it? If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? Yep. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claimed to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street.
Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup. We had a deal. You weren't gonna get into them details. Tell him, Silky. Set the bloke straight.
I have nothing to add. I mean, I just assume he regenerates the wine glasses. That's his one power. So, you knew, did he? Van Zeeks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. Oh, he set them up! It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact.
To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zeeks?
As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. Yeah, I gathered. No, I knew that the moment that it said it was only one bullet that was used. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windibank at all. So that's it. You're still gonna be convicted for shooting someone, you know? Yeah, don't look so happy.
I said we didn't have nothing to do with it. We didn't, Nash, we didn't. That's what I reckon.
Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and, let us not forget, attempted murder.
Quite a catalogue, eh, fellas? We're in for it now, bruv.
Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where is he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who?
Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed... Oh, so he does know about it. Okay. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh! That's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption.
As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. Sort of. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. It is cool that it is time-stamped, though. 8:30? 9? 9:30? As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in a quite desultory fashion.
Rather prodigal, I feel.
In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here.
You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I failed to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals.
One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. We already know that you're... Okay.
Heh, that's a bit of Freud attack, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a skookin'.
Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin?
Must have been just after 1. Right, bruv? Must have been, Nash, must have been. Yeah, just gone 1.
In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence.
Good Lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade!
I really do wish you told us what happened, as the court can clearly see. The accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. They had video cameras? No, these are just photographs.
Quite. One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel.
Alright. Okay.
I don't believe it. Ginny.
In short, the accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Winterbank. I say, my lord. What? Whom said that?
I say, my lord. Wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman.
Took a badly bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maiwand, 1880, don't you know?
Decorated for it all and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Course, medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see, the battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron, 6 men, all good and true. And we'll all go down together. You mark my words, one for all, and all for one.
Cool. What does that mean? The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they? Oh. Is that what we are to understand?
Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct?
Hey, what is the angle of the other photograph? Oh, I will be back with my potential theory in place after these messages. 'Cause, like, I have an idea. And it's a crazy idea. And we'll see. I will be right back, though. Take a stretch, get some water, all that stuff. Bye for now. Actually, I've talked myself out of my theory in the 2 minutes I left. But it's fine, I have tea. Yeah, I imagine, so I will wait. No worries. The void will lose its grip on you quite soon. As the void is wont to do. Well, you can't fully escape the void. Anyway. Hello! Okay, I talked myself out of my theory. I was just like, if there are 2 cameras, stereoscope, but then it's just like, what? No. 2 different angles, and also, like, there's no reason for the stereoscope to, like, be pertinent in that way. They've been talking a lot about a stereoscope. There's a guy in the jury who's obsessed with stereoscopes. So, like, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a matter of speaking, yes. That is the Garadep Squadron's position, sir.
What? No. It's too soon to make a judgment here.
Status report for the courtman on the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions too.
I think you'll find the truth is as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it. I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember.
I would not trust that guy to be my doctor. Situation clear, stop. No room for doubt, stop. Truth now undeniable, stop. I am very sorry for brothers, they are unlucky. Oh, okay, so you do know what's going on. Well, I mean, good for you, man.
Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Oh!
Guilty.
I was not expecting your voice to be so high-pitched. Alright, here we go again. Y'all are way too quick with that, well, it's not really a trigger finger, but...
It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already.
That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Ginny didn't shoot him.
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination.
Yeah, of course. Very well, the court grants permission.
So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising.
We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready?
Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
Alrighty.
All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketer.
Pickpocketian? Pickpocketian. Pickpocket. As a housemaid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated.
I think that if you look at the photograph in stereo, the truth would just pop out.
If I have left it in there, I should think there will be repercussions by now.
Hey, guys. Guys. This guy wasn't like... This guy isn't a surgeon, right? No, this guy isn't like the guy who operated on Sholmes, right? Do you think that he left the bullet in Sholmes? So there's actually 3 bullets that got fired that day or something? No way, right? Right? Oh man. I can't wait for it to be like, oh, is he a surgeon? I don't know. He has the gloves. And he keeps talking about leaving something, and now I'm just crack theory. Maybe he left the bullet in Sholmes. That would be really, really bad. In most cases, it's usually better. Yes, but also, I think in this case, it's like, I don't know. They're making assumptions, and this is gonna be critical evidence, I feel like. Anyway, moving on. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission. A verdict to follow. Stop. In Motherland, we say never judge by clothes, judge by head. I am convinced brothers are innocent. I trust the mouse. Hurley would get it out by himself so he can present it to the court. He freaking would.
The circumstances of the crime and the evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively.
The storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone. And in the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses.
Not to mention this print. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. The young girl's on the verge of pulling the bally trigger.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh dear. Hurley's cameras were supposed to help, not hinder.
I mean, can we get the same, like, I don't know, the same timestamp from the other camera? Maybe it'll show us things that we don't see. We need more context, maybe? We're not allowed that.
I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you.
But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. Which means there's more to the situation that we've yet to see.
Agreed.
You have the floor, Counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
Alright. I'm immediately jumping to that doctor because, like, I need to know. Where are you? Hey! What you talking about, guy? What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere or something like that.
So sorry. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon.
Oh god. A surgeon? That totally passed me by. Oh, I don't want to be right. I really don't want to be right.
Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors, oh no. Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field.
So, what is it that you think you've left behind?
Well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing went in through the abdomen.
Oh no!
But when I'd finished the procedure, I couldn't find my
No.
I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere.
What? Did he? Surely not.
Exactly, surely not, you say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have let my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't.
Oh, this is so much worse.
So there you have it, like I said, a little embarrassing, really.
That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter.
That's exactly my concern, and seeing as this case appears to be all but sewed up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made everything was back as it could be, as well as sure as you can be without being sure.
I'm sure you need to be more sure. Oh. That's good. Not helpful here, though. Okay, I'll go back to the beginning.
Hold it!
You're Mr. Natsume's landlord, Mr. Garadeb, aren't you? We really must stop meeting like this.
Ah, you're that lawyer chap. Well, there's turn up all the books. Yes, rather a turbulent time we had back then.
Some extraordinary events took place at your house, that's for sure. Luckily, Mr. Sholmes and I were able to get to the bottom of it all. I think we did rather a lot for you, didn't we? No, okay, this is not the angle you should be going. Don't bias him, that's pretty messed up. I mean, obviously. I wouldn't be suggesting that, therefore, you should change your leaning to not guilty or anything. Uh-huh.
Can't be denied, I suppose. The curse of the Garadeb house was the talk of the town after that business. Lodgers moved out and I couldn't get a bally soul to take up the tenancies.
Oh.
Haven't had the heart to break the news to Joni yet. Bad enough that the old girl's clapped up. Yes, can't be denied, you did do rather a lot. But not for us, that's for dashed certain.
I, suppose not.
Of course. Can be no suggestion of that being the reason I'm leaning towards guilty here, obviously.
Obviously, but honestly, I really wish you'd pay more attention to the trial and less to juror number 2. I didn't even realize he was looking at juror number 2. Alright.
Hold it!
Polishing the bench, I see. Again.
A maid's work is never done, not a blemish must remain.
What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores?
On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pig pursers, and crossmen, the scum of the earth.
Oh, good classism. A little harsh, perhaps.
Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve these important goals.
You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes?
That's right. I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rand's magazine in between my duties. He does wonders cleaning up London's streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital.
Mr. Sholmes? A maid? I'm sure someone's drawn it.
It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective.
Minor detail. It was the two brothers in the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant.
A minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyway. Oh, have I given the chat ideas? Uh-oh.
Yes, all right. I shall amend my statement.
Oh. I'll come back to this one. I don't think I have anything for this.
Hold it!
What do you mean, look at the photograph in stereo?
Sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photographic print normally, it looks as though the pickpocket girl is about to shoot its victim, or the victim, obviously.
But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun.
All I'm saying is that if you look at the same print in stereo, it could reveal all sorts of new information.
By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes?
Oh, how did you know?
Yeah, no idea. Couldn't tell me. Let's call it a lucky guess.
Never gets old seeing the two prints merge into one before your eyes. It's extraordinary, it's captivating, it's the height of modernity.
Of course.
Oh yes, I think you'll find that the stereoscope is here to stay. Giving us new perspectives that we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen.
If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. Okay, I already talked to you.
Hold it!
Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey.
Oh, but now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cable have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world.
Thousands of miles of cable? On the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You are well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried over airwaves to four corners of globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Right. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle. Oh, are we gonna have the two fandoms fight? I can't understand it, I really can't, they're just silly toys. This has nothing to do with anything, but like...
Excuse me.
This has nothing to do with getting a not guilty verdict, I'm just watching them beef it out. Jury number 3, sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but...
What?
Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess.
Oh, you bet I do. Say that again. I go on. I dare you.
Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he just might be, yes.
You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh?
Absolutely, I mean, really. A machine to view photographs in 3 dimensions. Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. I think a murder's going to happen.
You just don't know.
Pardon?
I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate.
What sort of possibilities?
Well, take a crime scene for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope.
Oh, wait, is my theory right? Am I actually grabbing that other camera's photograph to make it a stereoscope? I thought the angle didn't actually show the same scene.
It could reveal hidden clues that you never even noticed before.
What?
Have you got any, Bruno? Any prints we could look at with a stereoscope?
Yeah, we need the second camera, right? I mean, here's the thing. I think that in this one, we don't have the second picture. This is not something we can use right now. So I think for example's sake, we can use this one because it's the cat one. Right? We know that this one is.
Take that!
No, it's not the cat one. I was wrong. I can't actually think of anything we could use at all.
What? Really? Oh dear, I think maybe I need to have a stereoscopic look at your brain sometime.
What's that supposed to mean? Okay, I have to go back then. Hold on. Oh, I have to go back through this again.
Ah!
Oh no, I have to go through so much. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where does she start dissing the stereoscope? Right here. There it is.
Excuse me.
Yeah, maybe this will give us the other picture. I assumed that because we didn't have the second picture, we couldn't use it, but I'm down to try it. I just don't like I have to go through this entire dialogue sequence to get to it again. But, yes, yes, fight, fight, fight.
Fight, 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 fight!
Come on, free me from my stereoscopic hell. Okay. Am I allowed to use this one? That's the real question.
Take that!
Okay, I'm allowed to use this one? We don't have the second picture though. Alright. Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you can do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints?
Oh, of course I can.
Very well then, I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be
delighted to. Just give me one more print and I'll amaze you all.
I don't have it! Oh no, I don't have it! Wait. Oh no! How am I supposed to get it? Well, I know what I need to do. Here, have the same exact picture. Wait, sorry? What do you mean one more print?
Oh dear, oh dear. Don't you have these in the Far East? Don't you know how a stereoscope works? Bruno,
What?
you need 2 photographs for a stereoscope, remember?
I know. I remember. I'm trying to find the thing that gives me the second photograph.
You know, one for the left eye, one for the right.
Oh, yeah, yes, I remember now. But the print we have from the pawnbrokery is just a normal photograph.
No, I think you'll find that the clue is in the name. It's a stereoscope, not a monoscope. You always need 2 prints.
Thanks for the friendly explanation.
Well, if we obtain another print at some point later in the trial, we can always show it to this young man then.
Yep. I think you'll find that know-it-all expression is really starting to annoy me. Great, I need to figure out where to get it.
Let's get things back on track, shall we, Council?
Well, I'm working on it. Okay, you are the last person I have not pressed. Please tell me you're not feeling Bolshevik. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who saw this. The Russian Revolutionary.
But revolutionary?
I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor. As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like a vicious criminal. It's so bad. I'm so sorry. Okay. Your words, not mine. You just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murderer, autocrat. And which glove fits? Good day, I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take Buzz to Crystal Tower, please. Right. That didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts. To be treated like a vicious criminal all the time, it is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look. The Skulkin brothers? Nah, maybe they went inside a pawnbroker's shop. But they have done nothing wrong. Okay, wait, no, I found a contradiction. That is all I want to say. The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well, first of all, that's one not so little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Tell me something, Iris.
What is it, Runa?
The jurors are chosen at random from the inhabitants of London town, aren't they?
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it?
In that case, how is it that there's a Russian tourist sitting among them who looks for all the world like a revolutionary?
I wish I knew.
If I can't change the minds of more than half these 6 jurors, the trial will be over.
But we know that Ginny would never shoot anyone.
Yes, so we need to find contradictions in what these jurors are saying and pit them against each other. I must be ready to go to whatever lengths I have to convince them of Gina's innocence. Okay. I believe you and you. Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other.
Good lord! Council, explain yourself!
Oh my statement. Contradictory? Juror number 6, you've got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick. I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene of the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. Abdomen. ABD. Sir? Sorry. My English is still learning. And my accent is still terribling. You are telling the court you didn't hear. Forgive me, I did not hear. Here is word abdomen, part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker. You thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? Look at that little rat. Look at that little mouse, just a little guy. So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying. They said before we never done nothing, but truth is, they shot detective. Duh. This is double negative. Yes, that is exactly right. Oh no, the rat! No! Don't squeeze the mouse! He did nothing wrong! Actually, he doesn't seem that distressed. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by a person who looks like a criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. This means when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is this true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough, I trust no one now. It's not the mouse's fault though, sir. I must see with own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid that won't be...
Yes, it is, Bruno. Easily.
Sorry?
With the prints from Hurley's red-handed recorder.
Ah.
If you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, you'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Cooey!
Cooey?
Mr. Prosecutor?
Cooey? Tut-tut. Calling on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke into the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Where's your proof? Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight.
So, this was taken after Hurley was shot then? As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken.
Oh, bring it back. I want to see the other one. Did that get moved? Wait. I have this in here. Maybe that's just an error, because like it feels like the books and stuff got moved like very slightly right. I also know that the lamp definitely got shot, but I think that happened when we got there. If I had a way to compare them like more quickly. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So, the brothers who look like criminals told only one lie. They shot man, but they stole nothing. Would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good! You were right, I did not understood the situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue with trial. You know what? You're pretty cool. Can we please request the other photograph at this point, please?
Yay! Well done, Bruno! The balance is shifting.
Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we just might turn the situation to our favor still.
Thank you, counsel. Continue with the summation examination.
No photo from me.
And kindly hand that new photographic print to the bailiff to be filed as evidence.
Can I use this? Am I allowed to use this? Okay. Hello, sir. I am back with another photograph. Actually, I do want to see it, though. Yeah, I'm gonna try to use it for the stereo. I'm trying to see what else is on here. I mean, I guess, yeah, there's nothing really too glaringly obvious besides the lamp being broken. Alright, hello, I'm here with my photographs. Okay, how about this print right here? I meant to click R.
Take that!
Alright, juror number 3. Okay, I'm pretty sure we already saw this. So, one more. Here.
Take that!
Do they work together? We'll see. Alright, these two prints were both taken with the same camera and window banks on the night in question.
Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer. Do you know how stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle?
Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight— Yeah, that's why I'm like, will this even work? Because they're not in the picture anymore. With only a slight shift. Maybe it'll help with, like, the background stuff? Then when your brain merges the two images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth. I don't think I blurped this time.
Yes, exactly. It's that small shift between certain objects in the two pictures that's really important.
So, what happens if you use two photographs that are exactly the same then?
No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the scene three-dimensionally, anyway. Oh! Of course, now I see! Huh, I think the young girl has discovered the secret! I have!
Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me?
Have another look at these two pictures from Hurley's camera, Runo. Go on!
So was I right in noticing that, like, things were shifted a little bit to the right? Oh my god, am I right? Is it shifted a little bit to the right? Yeah, it is! The doll's legs are, like, further onto the desk. Huh.
Can you see that there's a really obvious difference between them?
Of course there is. There are two people in the first and no people in the second. Okay, but the lamp is the other one.
Well, yes, you can see that straight away. But now, try looking at the picture in 3 dimensions.
Alright, I'll give it a go. So to start with, yeah, I'm just worried that it's gonna be like, it's obviously the lamp being broken, but like, I feel like, I don't know, the things being shifted at the top there is a little bit funky, it's a little weird. So to start with, you have to cross your eyes and then try to make the two pictures overlap exactly. I can't wait to see how this tries to retroactively use the 3D slider. Oh, is it not gonna work? Let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Doing this properly with eyes crossed was really cool. I wish I could do that. Wait. You gonna show me something?
Well, did you manage to see it properly, Runo?
Well, I see a couple of things. Personally, I don't know if they're right. I see more than one, which is a problem. What's going on with these two pictures? Oh! Huh. I was right. Well, I'm glad they didn't have me look for it. Some of the things on the counter sort of jump out at you. Everyone's just looking. At least one guy had the sense to bring in the freaking stereoscope.
Yes, that's it, you see. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes.
Other amazing power?
Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh?
Oh, he has a moon ring while his wife had the sun ring. That's cute.
Why did some of the things on the counter seem to jump out at you like that, I think you'll find that if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question.
Basic principles of the stereoscope. Ugh, that pathetic toy.
As I said before, if you try to look at the two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. It's the slight shift in the positions of certain objects that lets you see pictures 3-dimensionally.
In other words, even though at first glance it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows that actually, there must have been a slight shift in their positions.
Yes, there must have been. Now hold fire there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of this whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does a shift plate between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master.
What, me? I haven't the first idea. Someone moved the scene.
You know, Runo, it's quite simple.
It is?
Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 a.m. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of some items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means
that sometime in the half-hour interval, Someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Yeah, there's a little bit of irony that this is so predicated on the 3D effect that we don't have. Zookers! Zookers?
Someone tampered.
New information, stop. Not mentioned in testimony so far. Stop. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this summation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question now is clear. We know the items on the countertop were moved. But by whom?
Are you suggesting you might know?
Of course. I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. Uh-oh. I literally don't know. Eggs Benedict! No, he hasn't been pinned yet. I'm pretty sure he is involved, but it's not yet. I don't think this got him. Would it be him? I genuinely have no idea. Oh, wait, but if it was this guy, then doesn't that mean that he wouldn't have been dead at 1:30? So she wouldn't necessarily have been the one to do it? It's most reasonable that it'd be this guy, right?
Take that!
Right? Quite clearly, it was the work... Nope, it was not him. Okay.
I'm afraid you've digressed there, Pouncil.
Oh. It should now be clear, even to you, who is responsible for the impeachable shift in the direction of this trial toward the absurd. Let me guess. Me. Shift aside, my Nipponese friend, and let the real lawyers do the talking. Yeah, okay. I really felt that one.
If you think about it, it has to have been someone who was in Winterbanks when everything was going on, doesn't it?
Well, yes, that's true.
So, that narrows it down quite a lot, I think.
Have another think. You know somebody must have touched the things on Mr. Winterbank's counter, so who was it? I think the only reason I didn't choose the two, like, you know, sus guys is because there's two of them, so it's like, which one do I even choose? Does it matter? Are both of these answers correct? Sure. That's not the button I meant to press.
Take that!
Oh, yeah, either works, okay. It was the witnesses currently in the stand, the Skulkin brothers. Wait, this does not agree with what brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrase book says dukes is meaning hands, and Lucy Lockets is meaning pockets. Oh no, the poor mouse. But is this another lie? Is this what you are saying? Yes, I'm afraid so.
Hold on there a minute, you can't be sure of that.
I quite agree. The accused is a common pickpurse after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely.
And why, exactly?
As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicated, that she was coercing Mr. Winterbank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pickpurse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better. In fact, worse than a pickpurse. You're right. My prejudice will get the better. Okay, I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket. would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize testimony given against her by two thieves?
Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more from that shady pair.
Well, he's doing a good job of not getting his gloves dirty, I guess.
Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand.
I mean, I noticed it without the stereoscope, but I mean... Wholeheartedly agree, stop. Must purchase after trial, stop. Will return home via Regent Street, stop. We have weaponized their classism against themselves. Perfect!
Well, it would seem this trial is yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call this summation examination to conclusion, with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. And I order this trial to continue.
Yay! Well done! Oh, by the way,
What?
you should hold on to this, Bruno. You never know when it might come in useful.
Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely. But, alright. Nice! Stereoscope has been entered into the court record.
Lord Van Zieks, you will instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them.
I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. Alrighty. I've won myself another chance to probe that pair about their activities that night, at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. Well, how many parts are there to this trial? We'll see. 5? Is Lord Van Zieks calling this court rotten? Oh, he always has been. He's been making fun of the jury, like, constantly. Every single trial, especially after a summation examination.
Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand.
Hi.
I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination.
Oh, yeah, Governor. I did, Gov, I did.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Gore, blimey!
This is going to be hard work. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windibanks.
Well, it was bedlam soon as, weren't it? It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull my dukes out of my Lucy lockets.
However, that was a lie. You brothers,
Gore, blimey!
on the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter.
I never done nothing of the sort. How did you figure that out?
You will now give formal testimony once again. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time, you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. I will crush your skulls like I crushed this wine glass. A thought worth pondering, perhaps.
Say no McGovern here, yo. Ribblab or squeak with a peach.
He squish. At least he doesn't have the mouse, because that mouse would have disintegrated by now. Illegal entry, the whole truth.
Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshots see made up the jump and all that stuff went flying. I mean, it didn't have given me a fright. We was thinking that she would come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scuppered straight into him in the black. In the black? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we?
If you were concerned that you were about to be chased by the shooter, why would you rearrange everything on the desk? There's... Okay.
So you admit to the defense's accusation. You did, in fact, indeed, ransack Mr. Winterbank's countertop on the night in question.
No, ransack, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tidied up, yeah.
I don't think he buys this either.
I'm so sorry.
By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled on hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. Which doesn't make sense.
The way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't he make us sound a bit more cutthroat?
Yeah. Hey, you shot a guy and left. There we go. Mission solved. Can't just be coincidence that these men showed up at Winterbank's that night. There's more to their testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. I bet it has something to do with Eggs Benedict. Something unexpected. Okay, I think I do have to start pressing everything now. If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place?
Well, you know, we ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, people would think we was up to no good. Well said, Ringo, me old China. We'd only land ourselves in even more trouble.
And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, that's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble.
That's rotten luck.
Says the rotten apple eater. I don't know, it doesn't look really rotten. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter?
We never ransacked nothing. What, Nash, right? We're more like we tidied the place up.
You buy this?
Sorry.
Okay, that particular statement came up twice now. I think I'm gonna question that one. Wait, is it here? Yeah, I'm gonna go with... Because, like, they brought it up twice now, so I wonder if this is the one to press. A pair of rotten up. Yeah, they certainly do make quite the pair. Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, we was a bit hasty there. We was, Nash, we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up. If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand. Good advice, miss. Good advice. Truth be told, my mind went totally blank. Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand. Mental note made, miss. After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or something, so they clapped the derbies on us like winking.
And after you'd been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct?
Well, yeah. But listen, that proves it, doesn't it? Yeah?
Okay. It was not that. I'll go back to the second one then.
Hold it!
So what you're saying is... the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much you knocked all those things off the counter.
Well, it took one of us that much, yeah? This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep his shirt on. Look, it was loud, alright. Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up with that bang. Big brother here screamed like a blummin' baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. I got tangled in some marionette, and what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked them scales on the floor.
You've really mastered working quietly then.
What a racket. My granny would have been scared back into her grave out of clatter like that.
So, in short, the gunshot took you by surprise.
And then some. I mean, it was quiet as a mouse, and then all of a sudden, BAM!
Hello? What have you got to say about this? Third brother of the Skulkin brothers? Inspector Gregson, do you have something to add?
Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels.
But I wasn't. No, something to add about their testimony. You seem to react just now at what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something?
It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it. Only, well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details.
How about you just tell us what's on your mind?
As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now.
Oh, ain't that lovely?
Did it?
You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot.
Might have, Gav, might have. It does ring a bell now you mention it.
Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear again. Wait, the death penalty?
Well, put their feet to the coals, I guess. We'll get it right this time.
I say, yeah, but it's all coming back to me now.
Then speak. Supplement your testimony with whatever details have miraculously returned to your questionable minds, sirs.
Right you are, Gov. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!"
Hold it!
Interesting. So, in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously. Oh! Hey, you guys want to bet that he tried to shoot himself again and she's just, Gina was there going, oh my god, stop doing that. Give me the freaking gun. Want to bet that that's what happened? Because I bet that that's what happened.
We did, Gov, we did. Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we had a kind of wavering voice before the yelling, or... If you don't want to get shot, give me that gun! BAM!
Thank you for the reenactment.
Kind of thing.
A career in acting tragically missed. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell?
Of course we could, from the other side of that door behind the counter it was.
From the storeroom, where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard, it was that of the victim, Mr. Winterbank. I'm gonna say it wasn't.
Oh, my granny's lie, of course it was. On his granny's lie, of course it was.
So, that would mean that you both knew Mr. Winterbank and the sound of his voice.
So that would be what? Oh, not what? Any ideas?
Yes, counsel, indeed it would.
No, we didn't know the geezer. How am I supposed to deny it when that bloke in all that fancy clobber's giving us the evil eye?
You have brought the most unreliable witnesses to ever witness. How are you feeling, Beric Van Zieks? Almost said Von Karma. If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true.
And on me Granny's life it is. On his Granny's life it must be.
It's a good job his granny's dead. I was about to say the same thing. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor.
Yup, make it sound like we're clumsy. Don't forget we tied it up after like good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it.
This is how Edward feels with that one old lady who keeps trying to hit on him.
The bloke, what? Oh, the place was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl.
Hold it!
You're saying that Mr. Windibank had a gun in his hands?
Oh yeah, I bet that was a sign, eh? Them two waving them guns at each other. Must have got pretty heated.
Okay.
I mean, just before he shouted out, we heard the geezer say, "If you don't want to get shot." Oh.
Well, I have a feeling I know what this contradiction is, but mandatory break.
For the sake of avoiding burnout and all that. Okay.
I will be right back. To the void we go, and we shall return from. Oh, I guess I'm a cat again. Oh, I might have to grab more tea the next time. El Cato. Nya. Still in the void. No, that's fair. Wait, how do you know I'm out of the void? Interesting. Mia. Ah, my tea has gone lukewarm, and therefore I will take them like shots. As one does.
Okay.
So, we're back.
Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say.
Mr. Windibank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in some. No, he didn't. He would put it in his own, if required. But someone being himself, of course. Okay! I'm glad that was known.
Good grief! Extraordinary devotion indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was gonna shoot beat him to it and cooked his goose proper.
Bet he wished he'd squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun!"
And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot.
It was more or less at the same time, Gov.
Give me that gun!
BAM!
Kind of thing.
Yes, a career in acting. Very tragically missed.
And we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck before everything went dead quiet. After that, we done a slapdash job tidying the place up.
Okay, so we go back to this one. Cause like... There's no way. For you see, there was only one gun. I could probably do this one, right? Is it this one or this one? If they were in the storeroom, it would be this one, right? Not this one. Dang it! Okay, you know what I'm getting at, right? I'm trying to get at the fact that there was only one gun, and that Gina could not have had the gun while he had the gun at the same time. Yes, I get it. I'm just presenting the wrong evidence again. Oh, thank you. It was, this model was made by the wonderful Ven, the artist, and Q, the rigger. And, my sanity is made into mincemeat. He was holding a gun, so he should have just fired instead of yelling at the girl. Like, okay. I mean... Okay, like... The thing is, though, like... Would it be this one? Now I'm second-guessing my conclusion.
Objection.
I shouldn't have second-guessed my conclusion. It was the same conclusion, just, you know, the wrong evidence. I needed the picture of the gun, not the gun itself. You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
I say, Gov, you got the picture?
No, I've got the picture in my hand and it says you're wrong!
She has, no question.
And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not in possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection.
Is he gonna say, wow, that was 30 minutes ago and they were in the storeroom, so things could have changed? I don't know. You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more?
Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel.
Yeah, that's right. Too right, Nash, too right. The geezer could have been able to turn the tables on the girl, eh?
Hardly likely. So can we address again that the fact that there was only one gun, that was his gun, she couldn't have had a gun, for him to also have a gun, and, you know, demand she give him a gun. Like, I get that the case has just begun, but there's too many guns, for this particular case to make sense.
No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence.
Ugh.
Continue with the cross-examination, counsel.
Yeah, how was he shot from behind? Exactly. But, like, I don't think I can present anything about this since they didn't say anything about where he was shot, unfortunately. A gun with only one bullet, in fact. Yeah, you're right.
Read my earlier warning, witnesses.
Skulkin, Stephen Skulkin.
It was an exit wound and they just never rolled him over. Exit wounds are... If I gather correctly, exit wounds are generally going to be larger than like entry wounds, just because of how explosive the thing is. If that makes sense. I mean, I know that's how it is in like inanimate sort of things, I don't know how it is in the body. Okay, yeah, same principle there. Hey, I took a forensic science class in high school for a little bit. That was fun. Okay, that's the last of my tea. I think I pressed everything now, right? Oh, the only other case would be it's the same size. Exit ones also wouldn't have the gunpowder burns exactly. Well, it depends on how close the shot was. We don't have ballistics here. We can't look at that. Imagine being able to look for that stuff. Oh, shoot, that was the end. That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony.
What is it, Runa? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired.
I would like some. Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. I'm not. Iris, can I have some? Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh. But I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something. Something important. It is nothing more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it.
Well, feelings can be very logical at times.
Sorry?
People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you describe. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why. That's all. I think you should trust your instincts.
Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5. Well, she is a doctor. She's probably gone through more schooling, actually. Alright. Like... I know my thought process, but I just don't think that it's the right place to say. Okay, let me take a look at the stuff I have. It has to be one of the newer things, right? Yeah, that's not gonna help. Actually, what does this say? I never actually looked at it.
Pawnbroker parishes and pick-purse plunder. How awful! For Jenny, I mean.
But tomorrow's headline will be Discharged Diver is Dauntless Do-Gooder, right?
Yes, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger.
Bigger? How?
Proud pickpocket protects planet post-trial, perhaps?
Protects planet.
Ooh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great!
Well, that, did nothing. I don't know, is this something?
There's a sensational story lower down the front page as well. Look. Ministry Mall. Classified secrets may have been leaked overseas from Ministry of Justice.
Oh, no, you're totally good. For a 10-year-old. Iris certainly has her finger on the pulse of world news.
It's about secret communications between Great Britain and its allies. Apparently, they're being intercepted by hostile nations.
Communications are being intercepted? But how would somebody be doing that?
And that's the question, isn't it? I've come up with 3 different possible methods so far. Are you looking for a new career, Runa?
No, of course not. I wonder, perhaps this is what Lord Strongheart was talking about yesterday.
Yes, it could be. And it could explain why he has Gregsy running from pillar to post at the moment.
Oh. Well, I'm sure that'll be important later. Not right now. That's not helpful right now. That's also not going to be helpful right now. Like, I would think it's the whole, like, he was shot from the back. But there's no statement that actually lets me present that, I feel like. It's weird that he was shot from the back. Huh. An epic move? I have an idea, I just don't know how to go about presenting this. Yeah, like, I can believe you didn't shoot him in this case, as of right now. I mean, would it be that he was shot from the back? Would that be applicable here? Can't use the stereoscope for anything. We already established that they moved the things. We established that she, like, we don't have enough time between these two to know what happened. And I already did this one, which is, unfortunately... I mean, I guess I'll present this and see what happens. This does not feel like a statement where that would work. Okay. So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
I'll see cover, you've got the picture. I has now, she has, no question.
And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not holding— Oh! That's the reason? Someone could have taken it, dude. But okay. Was not holding a firearm of any description.
Huh? You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Windibank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand.
Yeah, that bolt tool that used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun! Bam! Kind of thing.
Stay exactly where you are, right there. Okay, now is when you bring up that he was... Yeah, okay. If the crime had taken place as you've so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out.
Goodness, are you sure, counsel?
You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? Well, it would literally... He was shot in the back. He was shot in the back. Ah! Let me...
Take that!
According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of, "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot.
Indeed. With the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe.
Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true... if it's a Beatles reference? Honest? I don't know. But I think it might be more so the apple thing, because he had an apple in his hand, and then the other one is not. So, maybe it could be a double, yeah. It would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, if I can ask the court to study the photograph of the victim's body again, you can clearly see that Mr. Windibank was in fact shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
But it's the God's honest truth. It's now it is when he was shot that night. The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes.
How? If they were in the back. Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windibank holding a gun.
Something like that might have slipped out.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
Nash,
Order! 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 Witnesses, explain yourselves at once.
Well, the thing is, you weren't supposed to,
He's about to throw this desk at them. it would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you. My god, here comes Van Zeeks with the steel chair! They're actually screwed.
Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, we
Cut it out, Nash, cut it out. If we blab now, you know what he'll do to us.
He? Who are they talking about? Eggs Benedict? Hello. Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you.
Oh. Bruv, come on, the game's up. You'll have our guts for garters.
In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
So decreeth Santa Claus, High Judge of this court.
Well... Do I have to?
On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. He is readying that steel chair. Or throwing that desk at them. I don't doubt that he could do it.
Alright, so we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it. For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He jumped me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through the door into the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all that happened, I swear.
So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop?
Well, yeah. Sorry.
Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
But Governor, this time, Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide.
Very well. Counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. I've heard of sweating onions, but I haven't heard of sweating apples and pears. Alright.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Windibank?
Oh, well, sorry, I mean, that's right.
But do you know what he looks like?
We was keeping a close eye on the interest of the gaff, obviously. But we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that.
The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom.
Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place it could have been.
So, it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises.
Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well.
But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Windibank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you see the accused at that time?
Well, Moltaller, I couldn't tell you. No way, Cobbo, well, we have bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Windibank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claimed that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door.
Oh, did we?
But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he?
Well, yeah.
Was the victim, Mr. Winterbank, wielding a gun at the time?
Was he ever? Blimey, lummy. Great ugly barrel he had pointed straight at me frontispiece.
So what you're saying is you definitely saw Mr. Winterbank with the gun at the time. Is that right?
Oh, he is, Garth, he is. Spot on. Then all of a sudden, he came at us. He did. It was bedlam. I didn't know he was going for you.
You were clearly all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought we had it. I mean...
Interesting.
Hold it!
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too.
Well, yeah, of course we did. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot. I got tangled in some marionette, what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked them scales on the floor.
So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter.
Well, Big Brother here went flying over that counter like a gunshot, I can tell ya. And then the old geezer pinned him. He did, Nash, he did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a bloomin' pancake in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There was a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they? Wait, if they were fighting with him, why did he ever go back into the storeroom?
Poor Mr. Winterbank. He did everything he could to protect his shop.
Oh, okay. Right. That's... I forgot they actually said that. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Winterbank?
No, never. I was just, you know... looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget.
Yeah, they cleaned up the scene pretty well, given that it was only a very, very slight shift. They knew what was on top of what, in what particular position. Good for them, but also not so good. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, the man fled into the storeroom while you pointed your gun at him. Is that it?
Yeah, so he shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shot himself in.
There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true.
Huh. I wonder why Mr. Winterbank ran away into the storeroom.
What?
Well, according to what everyone's saying, Jenny was in there waiting for him, with a gun.
Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Winterbank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Winterbank's hands again?
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it?
This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it.
Look, the point is, me and my brother here. That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and my brother here.
Ah. Like, is that something I can make note of? That, like, there was only one gun? No, there's not. What could I even say? All I did was make a mental note. It's okay. Let me just press the last one then.
Hold it!
You say you had nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all. Nothing, Golf, nothing. All the old geezer went and shot himself in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was from the inside. We know it was because we tried to open it. Boy's a decent door, that one, go good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch.
There was a flap. You can open the window from the outside. Pretty easily, that's how we saw what happened. So, in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Seriously, does no one realize that you can open the door window? and shoot through that? Like, it's a pretty big opening. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim, the accused Miss Gina Lestrade. Also, is no one gonna follow up on the fact that they were like, oh no, he'll get us if we say anything? No one's gonna follow up on that? Okay.
It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, Council?
I think it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly have shot Mr. Windibank? Okay, I don't think they're gonna talk about the window, but like there was a window in that door. Just saying. Like, hey, are we gonna do that thing where we say that he could have shot himself? That would be really stupid, but especially since it was the back. Regardless, I'm pretty certain that they could have. I wish that we had proof of that in here. I don't think it's actually listed anywhere. Like, no, it doesn't show anything about that, which is really unfortunate. I don't know if I have proof, but hey, there could have been. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
What?
What was I look for?
From the moment you admitted that you'd encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely.
He did?
What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is, who could have shot Mr. Windibank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. It was Eggs Benedict! I really want to drag him into this. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. Please address the fact that there was a window in that door. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be?
Council, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of two conundrums.
Two, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe.
Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Understood, my lord.
You all right, Bruno?
I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. I'm gonna save because I'm starting to run out of penalties. But on the other hand, can it be from here? I feel like it's from here. There's a window in the door, and I've been talking about this for like the entire case. I really hope that this is right.
Take that!
The defense believes that the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. Please remember that there was a window on the door. And in answer to the second question, assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? In here. He died instantly, obviously here. Please work. Please work. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Oh my god, there's dialogue. It worked. Continue. Mr. Windibank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired. Also, why was she unconscious?
So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom?
Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony,
I pulled my gun on him and I legged it through that door into the back room.
if Mr. Winterbank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time.
Oh,
Oh, that works too. It was at precisely that moment, when the victim was fleeing for his life, that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom.
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial?
Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet ended the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself.
Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Ah, of course. He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory.
So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winterbank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? But do you know who had the key when we found them? Oh, that's right, it wasn't him. No, come on, dude, you know this. You know how to you got this, man. But what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there is someone else who could have locked the storeroom door. Is that so?
very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside?
The one who had the key in her pocket.
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room. For what possible— He had a gun! The man was just shot! Protection! Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck.
I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel?
Would you not close a door if someone was shooting from the other side of it? Are you guys daft? Come on! Listen, if someone was shooting at me and the person I was with just got shot, I too would close and lock the door to prevent from being continued to be shot at. Like, break line of sight a little bit. Possibly. That might be the play here. Like, I'm not gonna be thinking, oh no, I'm going to be accused of murdering this guy, guess I'll leave the door wide open. Like, what kind of reasoning is that? Oh yeah, that's a tricky one, that, isn't it? This has the real energy of, wow, it was so cold out there, what possible reason would I have to open the window during a house fire? Anyway.
Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
Yeah, well, none of you are frickin' cooks, I guess. Can't even tell when the thing is fully baked.
But of course Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
Thank you! The 10-year-old has the brain cell! Iris, why couldn't we have had you in previous cases? You just see right through. We wouldn't have had to deal with the London window winter nonsense if you were here. It does?
Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they?
Oh, yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Winterbank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at the time, but at some point, Mr. Windibank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. If Iris was the lawyer, we would have... It would have been solved already, you're absolutely right. If Sholmes was here as well, it would have gotten solved immediately.
Intruders, eh? Oh, that's us, bruv.
If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. He did not, in fact, escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windibank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
I'm glad someone does. Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windibank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones who done it.
I actually do believe that they are not the ones who shot him, like genuinely. I think that there was a third person there, especially since they brought up the whole third brother thing and they're replacing him with the inspector. There probably is a third brother.
Who's Eggs Benedict? We ain't, Gov, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot no one.
Objection!
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, yeah.
There is only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windibank's murder.
Oh.
So, like, it was Eggs Benedict.
Where does this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all?
Well, I should have known it was those three brothers. They look...
Three? Oh, the poor inspector is getting put in with a lot of them.
That was amazing, Runo! All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
I know, first time ever, and probably the last.
Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll have to give a verdict if not.
An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing? He doesn't laugh.
You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zeeks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive.
I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. The heck is a pettifoggery? What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly, cannot, and will not stand. Credibly cannot, there we go. Because you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing?
I say, Lord Van Zeeks, might be an idea to explain this bally conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground,
The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. That. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
By George, count bullets! Oh dear. He noticed then.
Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel. Yes, sir. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. Two bullets. Yeah. They couldn't have shot both him and, like, both the pawnbroker and Sholmes at the same time. I'm pretty sure they shot Sholmes. I believe them that they didn't shoot Windibank. I'm pretty sure it was Eggs Benedict who did it. Or Skulkin, I believe is what they said the third brother was called. But we haven't exactly brought in the fact that there was a third guy yet. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the bank, in his money, in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene.
Indeed, the defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar. Also, the blood was green. I don't understand why. Very strange.
We never did explain why. Anyway, your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Winterbank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness, I think you'll find.
But if the single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it is...
Winterbank not shot by same gun, stop. Only 1 bullet, stop. Exactly. Yes, this Nippony street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Plop.
Order! Order! Order!
Oh no! Someone else got murdered by the wine bottle again. Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. Pedophagy, giving too much attention to small details that are not important, or behavior that involves this. Huh. Oh, that's nice to know. I'll remember that for the next crossword I have to do.
Lord Van Zeeks!
But this court needs to open its eyes. You know, in the face of all of the racism against Far Eastern people, that feels like a pretty racially charged statement, but that's beside the point. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. She's 15. No, the person at the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. Ah, yes. Petty thievery. Definitely a pipeline to murder. Oh, she's 17? Wait, let me double check. Hold on. People. Was she 17? Oh, she's 17. Who am I confusing her with? 16? Question mark, question mark. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. No, he was in college, so I'm pretty sure he was like 18. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc. If you say that blood was, like, from one of them, we know exactly when that blood happened. We know exactly who that belongs to.
I'll be taking out whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much.
Don't give it to him! It's mine, that is, mine!
Sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. McGilded.
Yes, that music box disc. McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winterbank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence.
Good gracious!
Wait, we established that she wasn't trying to steal it. Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. We've also never used her age as a defense at any point in this, so... There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril.
I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's character.
Lord Van Zeeks,
Inspector Gregson? What? Oh, he didn't pickpocket it. He got a mold of it. So we have a copy of it if we want to try to find a way to play it. Yes, Inspector.
We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and I think it was agreed that disc wouldn't be used as evidence.
Van Zeek's sitting there like, fuck you, that's why. What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zeeks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting.
But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent.
Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Again, fuck you, that's why. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, bailiff.
Okay. This might help us. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Can we, like, tell the entire story of how she didn't actually steal it? At all? She legitimately was... Okay, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. But what if there was a third person with another gun? I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once, for all of 5 minutes.
Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Reno.
My lord? My lord.
I wonder if I might say something at this point. Proceed, Mr. Foreman.
Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden...
We're doing another summation examination.
The answer's barely obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it.
Oh no.
Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings as to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
We're doing this again!
Guilty.
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 Summation examination, please. No, wait, we just have to convince them again.
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Isn't that something that Sherlock Holmes says?
That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley.
Ah, yeah, it was.
How dare he use it against us? That's plagiarism, that is.
Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windibank. That's beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready?
Garadab's squadron is primed and ready for action, sir.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
But like, if she shot him, how could he have landed in the position that he did? Especially from where she was standing, and there was no room between him and the door, basically, so it just doesn't make sense. But I don't think I'm allowed to use that as evidence, so meh. Conjecture.
What's a rogue? Always a rogue, I say. A different breed to us law-abiding citizens.
Yeah, real law-abiding.
As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. I feel like there's still a bullet in Schultz, maybe?
Now just become the standard user rule that haven't been... Yeah, I mean... Hey, fight to the last breath.
You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was our pickpocket.
I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief.
I need to establish that he left the bullet in him. Doubt it's still in him now.
Yeah. The accused attempted the theft of the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
Cool?
It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt.
I have to admit, I was rather bowed over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more.
The whole courtroom is turning against me. Again.
It's not fair!
Iris?
That prosecutor's being mean. Just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer!
Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. It's made of apple and pear. Anyway. Here's to the truth coming out. Eventually.
That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
Alrighty. Yes, my lord. Wine man is at it again, whining. Okay. I don't think he's gonna be really helpful, but I can go through everybody.
Hold it!
Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying?
Well...
Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge?
I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces, the greatest military organization in the world?
No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous.
Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose.
But let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal soul through and through. Can't deny it. When you say that she'd shown she'd had it in her, are you referring to this?
Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier. Or am I mistaken?
Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that.
I've never actually seen the real thing. Can't wait to have a closer look at it.
Oh, yeah, of course. Mr. Sholmes did use his caramel bars to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe. I wonder if we're gonna get that order at some point.
We still don't know what tune it plays, though, do we? But I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy.
McGilded's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. That's a hint, if anything. Hold on.
Okay.
I would say that I should take a look at the evidence real quick. I mean, I know the blood is still on it from earlier, but... Oh, wait! We can right, she can actually see whose blood it is.
Oh, Bruno, look! This is blood!
Yeah, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. And we know who it belongs to! That means we can actually tie him in! We can bring in Eggs Benedict! Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before.
Then it's my time to shine again. I thought I'd be waiting forever. Alright, hold still with that disc, Bruno.
Can we get this done quickly, Iris? As everyone else in this courtroom watches a girl shoot the evidence with a smoke gun. We should explain what we're doing.
In a flash.
Bam! Alrighty. What color? What color? Green, like Nickelodeon. Yes! We can tie him to the crime scene!
Oh, a lovely bright shade again.
Wait, that color?
What is it?
It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? It's copyrighted. It's the Nickelodeon GAC! The blood samples portfolio has been updated in the court record. Too bad we can't bring it up right now. Okay, let's just talk to everyone, see what they have to say. It's the number of bullets that has you convinced.
Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police.
With no ballistics markings, okay, yeah, you wouldn't know any of this.
When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings.
Well, that's logical, I suppose.
Although,
Yes? Yes?
sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests rather like the fine china.
Does your employer dine with thieves? Yeah, the green is not Hurley. Although, it makes sense. Oh, yeah, because right now we're saying that it's right.
So, I suppose... Oh! There was another bullet.
Okay. Well, we know what we're doing. We know what we're gunning for. But yeah, I'll be right back. Oh man, I am excited. I know what to do.
Ooh, I got back here pretty early. Don't you worry, we will wait. Oh, I'm out of tea. It's okay, I have water.
It's dark in here. Wait, you're not even in the void. Move my teacup to the side. Oh. Hopefully I don't knock it over. There we go. You've been busted? Spot number 83. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how that leaderboard works. Like, the numbers on it genuinely don't make sense. So, I don't know. Okay. Hydrated. Hydrated and ready. Alrighty. So, we've got them.
If there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position.
We're gonna learn that from the surgeon. Because I'm pretty sure that's the guy who, you know, operated on Shulms. I'm pretty sure. Oh my god. in 10,000 years, maybe. A third bullet somewhere on the scene. Could that be possible? I can't prove that right now. Not currently. But it's not impossible. No, wait, I don't have anything yet! Wait, I don't have anything yet! I need to go back! Oh no, I screwed up. I made a mistake. I know that this is correct, I just don't have the proof yet. Shoot. What is the most credible thing? This might be the most credible thing, saying that, oh hey, someone else was shot, this bullet was dead.
Take that!
This is the most credible thing I could get away with. I, don't suppose this would pass as the third bullet. No, it doesn't. It passes for a bullet as much as you pass for a lawyer, my learned friend. I shot myself in the foot. I know! Yeah, I should have waited and come back to this one. Coming from you, I'm gonna take that as meaning not much. Will there be VTuber merch? If it is requested, like if that is a thing that people want, then mayhaps. In no way does it resemble a bullet, if that helps your understanding of my last remark. Counsel, at the very least, I would expect the evidence you present to be of the correct form. Yeah, that's my bad. I had no way of backing out of that. It's been a long day. Very much request? I'll see if I can't... Okay, maybe. I'll probably do small things. just to test.
Let's actually try to find this third bullet before we attempt that again, Bruno.
Yeah, I know, I realized. I didn't realize it would penalize me. Okay, I need to talk to this guy for that. I'm pretty certain I need to talk to this guy for that. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? Could do a keychain? Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe doing that. If it's something that y'all would want. The defendant's life is on the line here.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with the trial, to be honest.
Huh?
I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet had simply vanished from his stomach. It's quite inexplicable, don't you think?
I almost don't want to ask, but the surgery you've been muttering about all this time, you were operating on.
What was the fellow's name now? Hairlock? No, Hairlock?
Herlock Sholmes, by any chance?
Oh yes, good lord! It was that Hairlock fellow!
What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes, and you lost a scalpel in him?
That's alright, using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add it was a fairly major op, I can tell you.
This is crazy. He might have lost a scalpel in him.
Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I had to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up.
I hate to state the obvious, but...
Yes?
Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting.
The counsel for the defense is correct, as is clearly shown in this photographic print. The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region, then exited his body and lodged into the shop wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally.
Oh, I think you'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem three-dimensionally.
Oh, who do you think I am, son?
Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do. Yeah, he just took the scalpel. That's fair. Thing is, was there an exit wound?
As soon as I saw the wound to the man's stomach, I flipped him over.
No exit wound. Like a pancake. Are you saying that you checked his back?
Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury, so no sign that the bullet had left the body at all. He digested the bullet!
What?
That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I set about slicing him up. I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery?
It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together.
He ate the bullet!
Okay, cool. So, I can now bring this over to you.
Objection.
The music didn't stop. Is that not right? Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Sorry, OB, can't accept that as squadron leader.
What? Why not? What?
All fighting for a common cause, don't you know, my chaps? No way they'd contradict one another.
There was another bullet!
I concur, Mr. Foreman. You will refrain from personal attacks on the jury based on your own frustrations, counsel.
What do you mean?
I thought I'd identified a genuine discrepancy there.
There are a lot of questionable characters in the Gyarados Squadron. You might have to listen to what they have to say a few times before it starts to make sense.
Yes, and press them on anything that sounds suspicious. That's the way forward here. But still, should we really be labeling members of the jury as questionable? I mean, I guess, yeah, sure. I guess I press it again? Do I press it again? Mr. Sholmes' surgeon is on the jury. I've experienced some coincidences recently, but this is ridiculous.
I'm as surprised as anyone.
But there's no question that Mr. Sholmes was shot.
Well, that's what the police told me when they brought him in.
How bad were his injuries, Doctor?
He was in a bad way. He'd lost a huge amount of blood, you know. And I suspect he was shot at quite close range, too, because his skin was badly burnt around the point of entry.
Burnt.
As I said, I flipped the fellow over and examined his back, but there was no sign of an exit wound. Which is why I thought I'd better locate the lug and pop it out.
And yet you say you found no bullet inside the patient.
Well, I wouldn't have done, would I? Because it's in the wall of the pawnbrokers. But how did it get there? I need someone to solve this mystery before it drives me to insanity. If only there was someone...
Hey, didn't the Russian guy...
Even if he looked extremely unjust...
Okay, I get it! So we have a disappearing bullet on our hands. Oh, we don't need your testimony. Hello, ballistics expert. Please help us. I thought you were just a tourist. You gonna say that again? Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Yeah, okay. There's no way he's just a visiting tourist. So, you're a ballistics expert. Who knew? I have much experience with guns. Ah, that's not sus. I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent bath of, blood of,
Extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps.
Those. Extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Alright. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know, no mystery I cannot solve. Wow, he's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But, if possible, please, only in Russian language.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he?
No, still, we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets that anyone can... Okay, yeah, okay. He has an unfortunate face that matches exactly with with a murder that was in the news, like, 2 months ago.
When you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't.
If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. I'm gonna save just in case, for you see, I am down to my last life. Alright. I'm gonna play a little bit safe from now on. Okay, you. Wow, where's an expert? Well, you see. We got one. Please help us. They're not contradictory, we just need help. Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other.
Oh, a ballistics expert?
Pitting P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore, a bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is pleased to meet you. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I've seen very similar situation in Motherland. Oh, thank goodness. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along mountain road in freezing cold.
Golly.
The snow was piling high on both sides of road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note: don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. And this situation was very similar to what it's so bad, to what I hear today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound.
Then where did the bullet go?
I ate it! Bullet never hit me.
Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down?
Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looked just like bullet wound.
Good gracious!
Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me. Oh my god, did it hit the caramel? And that is solution to mystery of the disappearing bullet. No shot. Caramel should not be able to save you from a bullet, right?
But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in a pawnbroker's shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country.
Yeah, just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here.
Bruno, where exactly was Hurley shot again?
Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Is sort of around this area, I think.
Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt.
A pouch. Actually, I might have noticed something like that.
Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his
Oh, that should not be breaking.
in his investigations.
What? Really? Doctor, where is the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing?
The fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember.
If I may. Did you take it? Lord Van Zeeks? While I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the Why? Why did you return that? That I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry. As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment.
Yeah, like the scalpel. Since then, it has been in my safekeeping, along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred.
Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination. I must demand the prosecution present the item in question with all speed.
It was glass shards. That makes sense. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes's pouch. Do you think he already has all the evidence? Honestly, at this point, maybe.
I see. So, this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it?
Look at that. One of the files is broken, and the leather around it is scorched black. It's almost as if the file exploded.
Exploded?
So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And
it was the glass vial exploding that caused the fellow's injury.
This bullet did not penetrate the victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. But that's weird, right? Because the blood isn't his. But we can't tell that yet. A delightfully complex aroma.
Well, it would seem one mystery has been solved at least,
Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered.
But at least the mystery solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
Thank you very much. Glad I could help. Cool, that does not help.
Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester this scruffy pouch as evidence.
Haley's pouch isn't scruffy!
Okay, well, at least we can take a look at it, right?
Now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion.
Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, there's a new piece of evidence. Could be a valuable clue. We can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around, somehow. I'm sure of it. Okay, let's take a look. Maybe we'll learn— oh wow, we're getting so much evidence, actually. Can Iris tell us what this was for? This file has been smashed to bits. Presumably, this is where the bullet struck.
As soon as the bullet hit the chemical in that file, there would have been a really big explosion.
A big explosion?
Well, Hurley's potions and chemicals are amazingly useful for the investigation work he does. But they're also quite tricky to handle, safely at least. They're very dangerous.
Oh.
I'm sure that when this file broke, the chemical inside would have ignited.
Well. Note to self, always walk on the right-hand side of Sholmes in the future. The left is the danger zone. It's the splash zone. Oh, look. There's a hole here at the back. Doesn't look much like a bullet hole, but clearly something's ripped through the leather with great force.
Something must have pierced it somehow to have left this hole behind.
The glass, yeah? Yeah, it looks that way. Mr. Sholmes and his pouch both took a beating, didn't they? Yeah, the glass, obviously. Wait! It's the— wait! No! Turn that camera! It's really scorched badly, does you?
Oh, the strap is broken, look!
This must be where the bullet hit, then.
Let me see.
There it is! It's right there! It's right there! What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was, do you see it?
Ah! That's the Skulkin brothers' bullet!
What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch! This is an amazing discovery. What this means is there were 3 bullets fired at Windibanks that night.
We found exactly what that juror was talking about! The third bullet!
It's time to press that juror again, I think. Let's go! We got it. I'm still saving because I'm still on my last life. Fear. Okay, back here. Not you, you. Hey, I'm back with the bullet. Okay, I just need to go forward until you're like, wow, what if there was another bullet? Come on. I can actually prove it this time! Allow me to show you the bullet!
Take that!
Pulls out bullet from pocket. Where the heck? Here it is. We discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question in Winterbank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes's pouch. What? Allow me to show you the third bullet. This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes's waist before he was taken to hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one. Your words, not mine.
Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night?
Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch.
But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print.
Ah,
2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence.
Yes, that of Mr. Winterbank and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers.
An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each.
well, that must mean...
That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. And until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment.
Shot through the heart.
Order! 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 While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination.
By Jupiter!
What?
Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once.
Let's go. The judge is on our side now. Hey, gun inspector, how's it going?
Witnesses,
Governor!
were you listening to proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination?
We was, Governor, we was!
Perhaps we can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A 3rd bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that?
Make of it, Governor? I don't make nothing of nothing if I can't help it.
Is it one of yours?
God blimey, Gov, God blimey, not a chance!
In that case, did you have an accomplice?
Well, never, the Skulkin brothers work alone. It's just the 2 of us, that's a trademark.
No, it isn't. How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it?
Lummy, that's an head scratcher.
Counsel for the defense.
Yes.
I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came.
Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture. A picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what this 3rd bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. They had another person. There was a 3rd brother. Skulky. On that night at Winterbank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been working with a 3rd man. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of this accomplice. But the evidence all points to the fact that there was someone else present. Someone carrying a gun.
Objection!
Why are you objecting? You're trying to get to the bottom of this too. An accomplice, you say? Big swill. No, that's just what you're drinking. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there's been not a murmur of a third man, if this apparently wraith-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The blood. Ugh. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character. Honestly, if we had just proved that there was someone else there, we don't really need the identity, but oh, I think we're back. Nice. Alrighty. Well, back to this. If it's the 8-ball and the raccoons were innocent, you're gonna need some hard evidence for that one. The Skulkins are lying. I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? We know this. We know the answer to this.
Well, Counsel,
I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice, and reveal the person's identity, even. In response to the prosecution's demands, my lord, the defense is... Well, yeah, we know. It's the blood. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers to the prosecution's demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me, if it will make a difference.
in that case, Counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moments leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene of the crime?
Well, you see, writing hastily in my notebook. Well, you see, the answer to that is blood.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in this portfolio.
By Jove, that portfolio again, is it?
Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. Sure, there's 2 things. You claim one of those blood samples proves the presence of this third intruder. Well, which is it? I would say it would be this one. Because even though these are both green, this is the one that proves that it was the guy from Eggs Benedict. Unknown! We know who this belongs to! It's from Benedict Eggert!
Take that!
This is the blood sample that proves it. Did I do the wrong order? Oh my god, it's the wrong order. I knew I was gonna need this. Just watch, I'm gonna do the other one, and it's gonna be right.
Take that!
It's literally just, it has to be the right order. That kind of is very funny. Yeah. Then it's this one.
That!
Oh my god, it had to be in this order? Okay.
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar.
That's a bloodstain, my lord.
A bloodstain?
Green blood. Curious, even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
By the great detective!
New invention, stop! Not yet appeared in story, stop!
It's this, you see. It, doesn't have a name yet, though. This vodka sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements of people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made up of different elements. So, by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is.
Oh,
That brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood.
Talk of blood in courtroom, stop. Very exciting, stop. As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Windibank.
ah, a striking blue.
Yes, so you see, the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop.
Now, the fire, young man, could be from some unrelated incident, couldn't it?
No, it's not unrelated. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Windibank was killed.
Begolly!
Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day.
Then whose blood is it?
Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
Oh, have a good night.
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder?
Egbert Benedict!
Take that!
The man's name is Egbert Benedict.
Egbert Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, counsel?
He paid a visit to Windibank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place, when the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Egbert Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. He's cooked now. Broker!
Yes, sir.
I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you, no?
Yes,
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once. That's a lie! What are you trying to pull? Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel, and needless to say, any music box discs as two. As well, too, okay. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interests of being thorough, I asked Windibank for a print showing the fella. Oh, perfect. Taken from one of his red-handed recorder gubbinses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Windibank that morning.
And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin?
Never seen the geezer before in my life!
All my life, never seen him.
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes. Yes, and I can.
Then show us the evidence.
I agree.
We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is.
This is the last piece of evidence. The final piece of the final testimony. It's not gonna be the final testimony. We still have to, like, cross-examine that man. I had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom.
Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel?
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Wait. Oh, I was about to be like, You aren't gonna have me find something in the picture, right? No way. I know I'm right, but in case we have to present the wrong, if I present in the wrong order once again, has to be this.
Take that!
That proof is right here, in this portfolio.
Gracious Council, doesn't that portfolio contain the answers to every question posed?
I see you share my interest in claret-colored liquids, my Nipponese friend, but so you admit you're drinking blood! Vampire! Claret? Anyway, enough. The court demands to see further evidence. Yeah. Which blood sample proves the man you identified was the one shot by the third bullet at the scene of the crime? There we go. Wrong order before, but got it now. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Windibanks.
Which is when the aforementioned Egbert Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no?
Oh my god, is that why that Pokemon is called Purloin? Dang. That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred.
But of course, here is the disc for you.
Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Wait a minute, that disc is mine! Ah! What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal!
Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. These protrusions cause Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed, and the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now.
Goodness, a bloodstain, is it?
My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom.
Using my trusty Fogger gun.
Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio.
I say, it's green!
It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar. Stop. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Egbert Benedict, who was in Windibanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night.
So there was someone else there.
Look at those two brothers now, they're sweating buckets!
Oi, what are you talking about? It's boiling in here.
My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify.
It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now, this flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. Oh my god, he's a certified hater! And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. Wait, but he works with the police! They've taken his evidence and testimony before, and deductions before. He's pretty well respected, actually. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Hey, you want to test with your own blood? It's so easy to test, you know? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. No, okay, listen, dude. It is not going to tell you exactly who did it, but it can remove people from the suspect pool. You know? And if we have reasonable, evidence and motive and all of that stuff to prove that he was potentially there, we could look into it. It doesn't mean we're completely 100% right. It just means you can look into this now. Van Zeek's left 1-star reviews. He's a certified hater. Well. Oh my god. And pray, do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Well, he's legging it now.
See, right, is Mr. Sholmes concocting a load of rubbish?
I don't know, I mean, he's a great detective.
What are you talking about? We can't let him get away with that.
He has extended the leggy, and therefore we know he's serious. You know what would come to this. Of course Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice did I have? Also, it's totally fair.
I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said.
So she acknowledges that he looks like Santa! Oh, we're acknowledging this in canon now!
I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination.
Oh.
In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Good grief. What did you just say, young girl? I'm Father Christmas?
And in a summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it?
It's not up to you.
So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now.
Yes, she's right. She's torn him to pieces.
Young lady, you have quite the devious mind. I don't know, should I put you on the naughty list?
It really just comes down to one thing.
The 6 jurors. 5 jurors.
Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Bruno. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something?
Oh, the sass? Unbelievable. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with.
Iris Wilson, sharpshooter.
Bang!
After that shrewd presses of the situation from an entirely unexpected source.
I also love how, like, unlike Susato, none of them are like, oh, you're a woman, you can't say anything. They're just kind of like, wow, this sassy 10-year-old kind of has a point, doesn't she?
It must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination has yet to reach its conclusion.
This is absurd. Unlike Susato, Iris has a gun. Shoot, you're right.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for the final leanings in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions.
I mean, we also know what the judge wants. Like, he already was like, hey, we should bring in this guy. So, let's see.
So then, say to your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Let's go!
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Guilty.
What?
Guilty.
Excuse you?
Not guilty.
But, what? Ha! But, juror number 5 was the one who spoke up earlier, too! Like, when we were, like, piecing everything together? Why did she have to say why did she have to say guilty? What the heck? 2 called guilty,
2 called guilty and 4 called not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
Screw you! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision.
On what grounds?
If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. Yeah, sure, insult them. That'll get them on your side.
I'm sorry, Lord Van Zeeks, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue.
Gah. Yeah, put that leggy down.
Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested a subpoena of a new witness. But sadly, I fear that will be impossible.
What?
The name the gentleman gave for himself, Egert Benedict, is quite clearly false.
I don't know. We've had some pretty weird names in this series. I don't believe it. Just when I'd managed to prove the man was there that night.
Could I say something?
Who was that, please? Who spoke?
Oh, it was me, my lord. Juror number 5, who said guilty.
What have you to say, madam?
If possible, Inspector.
Me, ma'am.
I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again, the one in which the gentleman is shown. Do you know this guy?
Ah, right, yes, this one you mean, of Mr. Benedict.
Are you related to him?
Yes. There's no doubt in my mind.
Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man?
Yes, I know him.
What?
No. Good gracious! Order! 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 Juror number 5, how on earth?
I am a communications officer, stop. As we can clearly see. The gentleman in the photograph is, stop. Also a communications officer, stop. He works in my office, stop. Oh, your eyes are sparkling. A very talented operator, in fact, stop. He should be in the communication station now, stop. Tapping away on the telegraph, stop. This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. Oh my god, is she Miss Sunnyside?
I suppose we all imagined the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night.
Yes, I suppose that's it. Suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. Hey, you want to bet that he heard a communication when he was communicating, and that's how he found out about all of this information, and that's why he wants all the things? I don't know.
If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Zix, if you please.
Yes, my lord.
Make the necessary arrangements with all haste.
As your lordship bids.
The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson.
Yes, my lord.
I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess.
Yes, sir, my lord.
Very well, court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m.
My god, we've been in here for 1 hour, so 12:40, so it's only been 2 or 3 hours. It's been longer in real life. But, lucky me, I think this is a good place to stop for today. So, let me save my progress. I hope that I get to reset all of my penalties, because boy oh boy! Boy oh boy, do I not have any penalties left! Oh, I can save scum, but like, you know, breaks up the pace a little, you know? Alright, let's see who is currently streaming that I can invade. 1 penalty run. It's like the first case all over again. But yeah, shoot, I got a lot of things on my bucket list because like before I can even think about making like charms and stuff like that, I'm thinking about making like more alerts and like emotes and stuff, so it might be a little bit later on the docket. We'll see if I remember. Regardless, let's go and read Sam, who is currently streaming. So, is there a downside for just straight losing? I assume it kicks you back to your last save? I have no idea what happens. I've never been courageous enough to find out what happens. I don't know. But regardless, thank you guys for hanging out. I will remember to hydrate, no worries. I got my water right here. And yeah, I'll be back on... Today's Wednesday. On Friday. I'll be back on Friday. I don't know if I'll be able to finish this. I don't know how much longer of the case I have left, but should be able to knock out like a big chunk of it at the very least. So, yeah. Oh god, are you guys trying to knock yourselves out right before? Oh no! I don't have the alert on this screen. I'll remember to add that on here later. Well, actually, I could probably add it like right now. If I... I add it like here. There we go. Well, now if you roll, it should probably show up at some point. Regardless, thank you guys again, and I'll be back on Friday. I think that's about it. So yeah. Case solved. Get some eggs Benedict. Grab some eggs. That sounds pretty excellent. I run out of things to say. I have brain cells burnt out. Bye-bye. Take care.